Welcome to day 15. We are sorry to be leaving that spot, are we not, Jude?
We are.
You guys saw all kind of footage in it in our last episode. Right now we're heading over to Charlottetown, PEI. It's about, what does the map say, about 30 minutes from here. I think everywhere's kind of close on PEI. Tonight we are booked into a Harvest Host. What's it called, Jude? Do you remember?
No.
She doesn't remember. Okay. And we are booked in one tomorrow. Up on the top side of a island. I know tomorrow's is called the Fiddling Fisherman. What a name, the Fiddling Fisherman. I hope to grab an interview with this guy. We'll see. We'll see what he's like. Okay. We'll see you later on. We'll see what the day brings. Just left Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, the capital. The pictures you just saw, kind of keying in on the older buildings, the older architecture. I think it's very, very cool. Hope you guys are enjoying it. We're now headed towards our Harvest Host, and I still don't even know what the name of this joint is, where we're going. I don't know if it's a farm, no idea. But anyways, we'll be there at some point today. Welcome to day 16, Prince Edward Island. We stayed at a Harvest Host last night, as we told you before. Bit of a weird one. It was just somebody's driveway. But actually they were some of the original Harvest Hosters and Welcome Boondockers, so that was kind of cool. Met the neighbor who we know somebody mutually in Grand Forks, of all places. But we found out Judy really botched things up for us here on this trip.
Excuse me, who botched it up?
Kept telling her to book a ferry because you got to do it 8 years in advance here to get to Newfoundland. Ow! He
botched it up. I kept telling him.
Anyway, so now we've had to rearrange our plans a little bit. We originally were supposed to go New Brunswick, PEI, take the ferry over to Nova Scotia, do Nova Scotia, and then take the ferry from Nova Scotia into Newfoundland. It's that ferry from Nova Scotia into Newfoundland where you have to book a decade in advance, otherwise you're not going to get on it. So once we leave PEI here in the next day or two, we now have to do a 40-hour drive to get up to Labrador and into Newfoundland that way, which is way north Quebec you got to get into, and all because Judy didn't know how to book a ferry.
It's not me.
Ow! Violence. So anyways, that's what we're doing, but we look at it as positive because we weren't going to go to Labrador, but
now we're going to Labrador.
Now we're going to Labrador. Okay, we'll see you next time. Welcome to day 17. As you saw from the pictures, movies last night, we did not stay at the Fiddling Fisherman Harvest Host. So we got there, and it was just a parking lot, a paved parking lot, asphalt parking lot on the side of the highway. So we said, screw that. We brought out Overlander, and we found the spot we were at last night, 18 minutes away. It was a beautiful spot. So with the two harvest hosts, this end of the island that Judy picked, she's really batting 1,000 here.
Okay. Hey,
She's
I
violent.
like harvest toast. We'll make some good ones.
She's being violent. But anyways, there's not to worry. There's so many Overlander spots around. It just doesn't matter. So anyways, now we are going to head up to the top of the island and start making our way back towards the Confederation Bridge. And I should know the directions on my bearings at these points, west, south, east, but I don't yet. But that's the
And why are we heading back, John, to the Federation Bridge?
Because Judy really fucked things up.
No, I did not. We were going to plan to do the ferry dates, but we never did. So we were out of luck. So now we have to backtrack.
As I said, she fucked things up.
I did not.
All right, we're gonna see what the day brings. See ya. Just got on this gravel road, going to tonight's sleeping spot. It's what, 4:30, 5 o'clock, Jude, something like that. Yeah, looking for a lighthouse at the end. Stay tuned. Be right back. Good morning. Welcome to day 18. No longer the Great Canadian Road Trip. No longer the Great Canadian Tax Write-Off. It is now the Great Canadian Backtrack. We are backtracking 900 kilometers back to Quebec City before we take the 2,100 kilometer journey up to Newfoundland. The long way around.
That's a long ways.
And we know whose fault this is over
It's
here.
your fault. I told you to book.
She's violent again.
I told you to book.
Anyways, blah blah blah. Coming from over here.
Hey,
So
listen to women are always right.
I've learned that now. Women are always right. Okay, we'll see you along the road. "115 kilometers south of Labrador City. We've traveled 1,100 kilometers since Quebec City to get here. The first 200 are, you pop from town to town, but the last hundreds and hundreds are probably the most remote roads I've ever driven across. I mean, we're going hundreds and hundreds of kilometers without nothing. Then there's a one little gas station, if you can call it that, $2.45 a liter for fuel. But without that gas station, you're not going to make it, so you have no choice. Now we're pulled over here. Judy's just in the back making a coffee for us. And I am looking outside, and I've never seen so many horseflies, big giant horseflies, in my lifetime. It's scary, boy. They would eat you alive. So, yikes.